Cops want to kill me because I'm black. Ops want to drill me because I'm black. Taking no job because I'm black. She won't fuck me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Learn to flip pennies because I'm black. Know about cities because I'm black. Yeah, in the hood, we was strapped 10 toes down, we went sacks. Substitutes, so like with black. And you gotta guess where I'm at. I be with the police chillin' hard, right on Malcolm X Boulevard. TV niggas see me the stars. Everything about my life is hard. I don't let them fall in my cars. You want me, what's the cause? Watch your mouth, I hit hard. Back up for you,
when you see coronavirus cases,
my neighbors within them laws, and I've been the boss, cause it's beneficial. Acting in the beneficial.
just innocent coronavirus. Cases reflect.
But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that.
Racist.
I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops want to kill me because I'm black.
Ethnic
Cops want to kill me
preference.
because I'm black. Can't get no job because I'm black. She won't fuck me because I'm black. I don't like me because I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. I don't gotta buy keys because I'm black. I don't get two kids because I'm black. Fought my whole life because I'm black. But I left his eye going black. Because I'm black. Ain't got not one face tat. But I'm still getting profile, cause I think it's crackers profile. So I'm Manny sweats with the butter Timbs, so they know they can't butter him, so they rather jump him. If you touch him, niggas come families, I'm a law keeper, a peace breaker, no tranquility, a peace breaker, deuce to the street sweeper, cuts flip, I be spicing shit, but then I would die in the icy fridge, that show in my chest ain't blocking shit. Touch me, I'm only blocking shit, cause I'm black, you think I gotta cop the fifth, well that's a stereotype, that's accurate, cause crackers laying niggas in these cold streets, and then tell my brother he gotta beat for me. Cops want to kill me cause I'm black. I want to drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She won't fuck me cause I'm black. I don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops want to kill me cause I'm black. Ops want to drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She won't fuck me cause I'm black. I don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. So I'm black.
What's gonna have to happen is we're gonna have to end that. We're gonna have to just end that. Alright, let's get it, man. We're gonna have to just go with what we got. You ready? Rock and roll. Shalom, Israel.
We put a tidal wave of emotion upon the black burner coming up in this truth. You suffer like a neck turner. Structure ain't the first or the last of the black murders. Anybody trying to board get down, they like the fun, but it's the school of the hard nuts. We hard nuts, come with that smooth talk slick. You get your heart operated on your mind. Is what the Christian church made it on all the lies. And that white man you keep waiting on to fall out of the sky. Nothing but watery eyes. And the gnashing of your teeth, we keep this brotherhood strong. Contort about a little bit, peace, we turn the drama into peace, but keep a lookout, back a lookout.
Alright. You ready, we on?
Talk up.
Shalom, Israel. We're the ISUPK. Started out of 1 West on 125th Street in Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And this is ISUPK St. Louis and Kansas City Sabbath class. Alright, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we're gonna keep on track as of what we've been on for about the whole week here, speaking on this coronavirus and how is it affecting our people. You know, blacks, Hispanics, and natives have started to become blacks, Hispanics, and natives have started to become the picture of the poster child for this here epidemic or pandemic, should I say? As many may already know, in China, they have started to take drastic measures against so-called Africans, which we should all know that we talking about black people, we talking about Negroes here, not Africans, but they are taking drastic measures into putting them out of I guess their apartment complexes, homes, and denying them entry into restaurants. Many are sleeping on the streets and other terrible things. You understand? They're going through some terrible situations while they're out there. So a lot of people have been putting a call out for us to uh, boycott these Chinese restaurants and stores here in our communities. But the thing about that is that we should have not waited until now.
Right.
You understand? These types of things that were going on right in our own communities. We were watching as our brothers and sisters and young daughters go into these different stores that they own, nail salons that they own, and get beat and pummeled by the males of their society, or they were inside of those businesses, restaurants, or salons, man. You understand? We've watched as the women ganged up on maybe one or two sisters, you know what I'm saying, that were probably in their business. They accused them of stealing or not paying, or a sister may have not been happy with the service that she was provided and did not want to pay, or said that she should be discounted, or some other reason that they had some discrepancy. But it ended up with, like every nation, wanting to beat and pummel blacks. You understand? Wanting to beat down the Negro. You understand? Wanting to get physical. You know what I mean? But now all of a sudden, since this pandemic has set people down so that they can now pay attention to what's going on, that they're not so busy with everyday life, the hustle and bustle, that now the Lord has slowed everything down where you can see clearly. And that's what our people have missed so much in America, is to actually see clearly. The men in the ISUP Canada, Commander Junior Yohana, have been seeing clearly since 1969, you understand, and have been giving instructions to what should be done for our people. So with that being said, we're going to bring out, I got like a couple articles, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to go too far into it because more of this is to come. So I want everybody, blacks, Hispanics, and natives, you understand, the children of Israel, I want them to be aware and to be on their toes and to understand what's happening right now. What's happening right now is the Lord is calling you out. You understand? He is calling you out. He has given you directions and orders that our people refuse to follow. He's given us directions and orders and told us to separate ourselves from this nation, separate our spirit from these people. You understand? In all nations. But yet and still, we can't seem to separate ourselves because we love the activities that we're allowed to do here in America. We love being homosexuals. We love being lesbians. We love being whores and prostitutes and pimps. You understand? We love being drug dealers and drug users. So we feel that life here is just okay. It's a-okay enough to suffer through all the stuff that you've been suffering through. But you really haven't realized that you're suffering. You've been told that this is normal, that this is something that you should go through. This is the normal conditions for Negroes. So we went about our lives living as if this is how it should be for us. We should live with the oppressor's foot on our necks. We should live in poverty and impoverished and struggling while the white man lives deliciously on the earth. You understand? And that is far from the truth, man. The Lord said he made the earth for our sakes.
That's right.
You understand? So our people are very, very misled with that direction of thought. So with that being said, we're going to go into some of these articles so that we can break down what's going on with this coronavirus and why now all of a sudden that blacks, Hispanics, and natives have started to become the poster child. We're starting to become the face of COVID-19. All right? Let me get that article, that first article for me. And read the title for me, please.
Kana. CDC reports blacks and Hispanics are suffering more from coronavirus than whites and Asians.
Now, when black people first heard this, of course, they went right into conspiracy. They went right into, oh, it's a plot to kill us off. oh, they you know what I'm saying, they doing this, it's the 5G towers, it's this, it's that, but not understanding why that it is that we are now the ones who are faced with all of this, why we are the ones now faced with the most deaths, the most infections of the COVID-19. You got to first understand the conditions of black people in order to help them. If you don't understand the conditions of black people, if you don't understand the conditions of Hispanic people, if you don't understand the conditions of Native Indian people, and then if you don't understand the mind state of the enemy or oppressor that is over them, then it's hard for you to help. It's hard for you to do things or say things that these people need to hear in order to fix the conditions that they're in. So with that being said, keep reading on.
There are almost 450,000 confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States and over 16,000 deaths. States like New York, as well as the federal government and CDC, have offered glimmers of hope that social distancing appears to be working.
Now I want y'all to hear that they said it appears that social distancing is working, but understand this, because like I said in one of my videos, that black people are very crucial of themselves, so they are going hard on anybody that they see out. Oh, see, this is the reason why we can't get back to normal life. This is the reason why it's spreading, because Negroes don't want to sit down. They are stupid. I'm tired of this. Black people are stupid. They all out at the park. They all at the stores. They all over their friend's house having kickbacks and whatnot. But they don't understand that the black man is not the only one doing this. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives are not the only ones doing this. These white folks are out here doing the same thing. They're out having a blast. They're out fishing, camping, boat riding. They're doing whatever in the hell it is they choose to do. But the thing is that it's not being shown, it's not being reported. Like in Kansas City, they did a report on the so-called the park that we had. They had like an Uber driver that was dropping people off. They went by and filmed the local areas and seen how people were still congregating, and they brought it to the attention of our mayor. You understand? And I mean, granted, they were out there. I mean, they were out there, but they're not the only ones doing this. You understand? The white man is out cycling and walking his dogs at the dog park, and him and his buddies and neighbors, they all congregating on their porches and things like that. We're not the only ones doing this, but keep reading.
This means that death rates, initially estimated to jump from 100,000 to 240,000 a week ago, have drastically come down.
Have drastically come down. Keep going.
The news that social distancing is working has come as a relief to many, but there are two groups of people who don't seem to be benefiting from these practices.
Okay, so wait a minute. They not saying that we're not social distancing, because black people are locked in. Black people are so afraid right now. There are tons of them locked in their homes. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted like because you see a select few out and about, that the whole conglomerate of blacks, Hispanics, and natives are out in the streets. There are bunches, and I mean bunches of us, that are scared to death. You understand? And are locked in our homes, face masks, gloves. They're spraying Lysol. They're wiping down everything they touch. You understand? Which they should have been doing that any damn way. You understand? Why not keep your hygiene up anyway? But now that this COVID-19 is out, they are more afraid and more cautious about things that they do. So, of course, blacks, Hispanics have been doing this already. Keep reading on.
New York, which has been impacted the most of any state with both cases and deaths, released preliminary data recently announcing that of the over 6,000 deaths in the state, blacks and Hispanics have been far more impacted than whites.
Read that part again. Read them last two lines again.
Preliminary data recently announced that over 6,000 deaths in the state. Blacks and Hispanics have been far more impacted than whites.
Blacks and Hispanics have been far more impacted than whites. Now, again, like I said, our people look at that and they say, well, good night. They're trying to kill us. They're focusing all of their efforts into killing us. Well, there's some things that our people just don't understand about our condition. You understand that it's been going on since our inception here as so-called free citizens. You understand? Ever since the end of so-called slavery. You understand? When we were supposed to have certain things, you just don't understand that these things have been going on and have been perpetuated into now, into today's time, where now the Lord is taking the veil off of your eyes so that you can see it. You understand? Now he is allowing you to see what it is that the brothers in the UPK have been talking about when they've been standing on the corners yelling. You understand? Keep reading out.
Kind. The data shows that the death rate for Hispanics is about 22 people per 100,000, and the death rate for blacks is about 20 per 100,000. Whites are dying at about half that rate, at about 10 people per 100,000. And Asians are being impacted the least, with about 8 people per 100,000.
Good night. Even the Asians that started all this nonsense, they ain't even dying like we died. Now this has to be, this has to give you, you have to, your antennas have to go up in the air, and you have to start now opening your eyes and start looking at what's going on. Keep reading, Doc.
Salaki, I think that's it.
That was it, because those are very short. They were just getting straight to the point. Those were pretty short articles. You can slide on into the next one. All right, I want y'all to understand something, man. That all the research that these devils can do, you understand, all of the predictions that they can make, all of the so-called provisions that they can make, the PPE suggestions that they tell us we should do and we should wear, are not going to prevent black people from dying. And there's a reason why. The reason why is because we are oppressed people. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the slaves in this place.
That's right.
We have never stopped being the slaves of this place. We were slaves 400 years ago. We are slaves today. And to be a slave today is a lot different than when it was when you were locked in chains and your backs were being beat. But it's still in the same spirit. You understand? Our people are enslaved to the point of they are the last people thought of. You understand? Meaning, when something has to be done, regardless of the conditions, like right now, they are ready to send people back to work. Why? Because they look at us as the slave class. And we will be the forefront to continue on and make their kingdoms continue on, even in the face of death, even in the face of COVID-19, even in the face of 100,000 infections, you understand, and 60,000 deaths, you understand. We are still going to be on the forefront. Why? The rich and the powerful are at home in the comforts of their homes, you understand, and still living life. We will be on the forefront. And we don't understand that the so-called help that they're giving us is not no help. They're not really giving us any help. To throw us a couple of crumbs of a $1,200 check, that's not any help. We're not getting any help. I know we believe that we're getting help. I know a lot of us see that money and our eyes get big. I know last week when we left here, me and my daughter, we saw some brother, he was pulling up to the stoplight. I guess he had went and cashed out and got his $1,200 in cash. He was rolling by flashing his money. He couldn't believe he had it fanned out in the fan in front of him, rolling in his car. You remember that? we looking, he bopping to the music, he got his money, he's so happy. You understand? Probably got a couple hundred. He probably didn't put some of my kids on his taxes. He probably got a couple thousand. You understand? But he was happy as hell. But then you got to look at it. What in the hell you about to do with it? You about
Right.
to run. You about to run to Walmart and buy a TV, or buy a PlayStation, buy an Xbox, and then suffer the rest of the damn time because you didn't go and prepare and buy the things that could help last and help you suffice through this hardship that we're getting ready to go through. Because this is just the beginning. I don't care if they send us back to work. There are going to be millions of people who are not going to go back to work. And the reason why they're not going to go back to work is because these businesses are going to see that they are being able to run them sufficiently without all of these workers, without all of these places to work. You know what I'm saying? You know how like you got this office building you got to sit in and go in? Everything now that you use the office business for, conferences, to run faxes, to do all these things, you can do now from your home on your laptop. So they don't need to have the office space. You understand? Now they're going to bear down and they're going to put more work, just like the Pharaoh did in Egypt. They're going to put more work on the backs of these slaves.
Right.
They're going to eliminate all of these so-called workers. You understand? Because that's why I'm calling them so-called, because they are slaves. And you're realizing how much of a slave you are when they put up a goddamn piece of glass or piece of plastic as your defense against COVID-19 while you serving hundreds of people all day. You understand? That's the only defense you get. So that lets you know that you are a slave, man. When they dealing with all these people that may have COVID-19, they got on a full body suit. They look like one of them movies, them sci-fi movies where the outbreak happened. They walking around with this big suit, they head inside of it and everything. But they give you a piece of plastic in front of your register while you got to deal with hundreds of people coughing and spitting and talking and laughing and blowing their breath and all kind of madness, man. You understand? You are still going to do this work, but you're not going to have many to labor with you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like I said at the time of the Egyptians and the Exodus, man, they wanted to make us work with vigor. You understand? And that means that we're going to work harder. We're going to work even harder with less resources. And those resources to have a brother to help you. Ain't going to be no brothers to help you. You understand? You're going to be, oh, I got to do this job and this job and this job. Yeah. You understand? Your job description has gotten a lot broader than what it was when you first started. You understand? So our people better prepare themselves because, like I said, we in for the long haul. This thing is nowhere near over, man. Matter of fact, give me a scripture, man, because they claim that they're helping with these little $1,200 checks. You understand? But these Democrats then threw out more proposals for more stimulus to give to the people. Now, why all of a sudden now Trump is pushing for people to go out and start protesting so that they can open their cities back up? Why? Because Trump and the rest of these grimy, diabolical so-called leaders of America, they do not want to shell out any more cash, any more help, any more funding to you slaves. They want your backs back on the job, back in the hole. You understand? They want you back on the grind. And our people are in such desperate need that they can't wait for it anyway. They can't wait around for this next stimulus or for the unemployment to kick in. You know, if you wasn't already getting unemployment with 17 million people applying for employment in the last 2-3 weeks, it's going to be hard for you to get your unemployment started. So imagine how many weeks you waiting and how far you falling back in the rear. Imagine these because they've only given so much of forgiveness on bills as far as your utilities and then your rent. You got to negotiate. You understand? If you're not in Section 8 housing or something like that, then you out there by yourself negotiating with your landlord and hoping he applied for those EIDL loans that they had a part of the stimulus plan to hold him over to pay for his mortgage so that he don't go to put you out. You understand? Because, yeah, of course, they're not allowing anybody to evict anybody. But he is calling you and asking, hey, what can you pay? How much money you got? When can you come up with this? He's pressing you knowing that you don't have a means to pay for anything. He's making, hey, you need to come up with something. And that's the problem. Like, nobody has any compassion, man. And then I heard also, this is what I was trying to call in on class, man, because y'all was going in on class, man. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah, man. for these brothers, man. They be putting it in every week, man. But Officer Bond, man, his class was lit last night, man, and they was going in. I was trying to call in because I had just read an article where the $1,200 stimulus check that brothers and sisters was getting, man, now was being seized by private debt collectors, man. So you know how they put it out there where, the government, we're going to hold all loans. We ain't going to press you about school loans. If you owe back taxes, we ain't going to press you about none of that so you can still get your stimulus. Well, you know what? They left a loophole in there for them private debt collectors. They've been seizing people's bank accounts and taking their money. You understand? I mean, just how much of a you just are lifeless, man. You have no spirit, no soul. You are just a type of person, man, that should roam in fields with beasts, man. That's why the Lord calls these people beasts. Right. Because they have no compassion like a human being should have. Like a person that stands up and walks upright, they should walk around on all fours with a tail wagging, you understand, from their behinds, because they are beasts, man. How can you see all of this going on and still say, well, they owe us this money, they need to pay us? And private debt collectors, that could be a cell phone bill, right? Something that damn petty. Just like Commander Junior Hunter broke out, this is how petty they being. That they gave the brother 12 years for sneaking a cell phone into jail. Right. But this is just to show their lack of compassion. You know what I'm saying? That's why I brought that up, because that's just a lack of compassion on all levels. Something as small as cell phones, you would allow a person to starve, to be put out on the streets. And then we're not even speaking about those that's homeless. We ain't even speaking about them. They don't got an address in order to receive a check. Right. You understand? So how they even getting their money? But then you got somebody who is wicked of our own nation. If they are getting the money for that person, they probably charging them. You understand? They probably telling them, no, you have to give me some of this. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even have a check. You know how we get, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's us being just like our slave masters, following after their so-called God here in America, man. Because that's who we look up to. We look up to these oppressors, man, and we take on their spirit, man. Like the scripture says, as your father the devil, so shall you do. And I'm paraphrasing. I might have got off a little bit on that scripture, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all get what I'm saying. But with that being said, man, our people are really facing problems here. I mean, they truly are facing problems, man. And this nation ain't got enough to help us. They got it, but they not trying to give it to us. They're giving us little sprinkles here and there and making it sound as if they're helping us. Right. But really, it's never been in their spirit to help us, man. Never, ever been in their spirit to help us. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 10 real quick, God. And then while he's getting that, you give me Lamentations 4 and 17. We got a real problem here, man, when it comes to dealing with these other nations, man. When it comes to really dealing with these other nations that we believe are just regular people, or they just that's their nation. That's just how they are. You understand? We got to understand that the Lord said who these people were to us in Deuteronomy. He said that this nation was our enemies, man. That's these right. People that rule over our people are our enemies. And this is why anything they have that they call help is to our destruction. It's not help. It's not help at all, man. You understand? That's why when they had the goddamn $1,200 checks come out, what did Cap Desariac say? They didn't put food in the house. They put them flat screen TVs out there. Because they know niggas is going to come get them TVs they've been trying to get all year long. You understand? Couldn't get on their last income tax check or whatnot. So this is what we got to realize, is that all these so-called things that they claim are to help us is to our destruction, man. Read that for me out.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10.
Go ahead.
Never trust thine enemy.
The Lord said never trust thine enemy. Even when he got his smile, his nice suit, and he stands in front of a crowd and he says how much he's a patriot for all Americans. And he makes you feel like you're an American. And he tells you, oh, we're going to make sure all of you all are straight and that you all are getting the help that you need to make it through this pandemic of COVID-19. Never trust him. Keep reading.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
For like as iron rusted, man, you know when iron rusts, man, it makes potholes in the iron and it gets deep. So you know, in order to get that if you were trying to restore something that's iron, you go to grinding at it, and you grind and you grind and you strip away layers of the iron to try to get rid of that rust. But in those potholes, you can't get down in there. So it's just a smooth, slick surface. Yeah, you got a lot of the rust off, but in the potholes that are in the metal, it's still rust there.
Right.
Meaning his rust, it runs deep. You understand? Rust runs deep in iron. Keep reading.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And
Hold on, you skipped something. Go back up for me. Go back up. Read from the top.
Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness. That's the part I was looking for. That's the part I want you to understand. Even when it looks like he ain't evil like he used to be when we was getting beat over the back.
Right.
When we was in them trenches, when we was picking cotton. He don't seem as evil as he did then. Now he's dressed up. He comes into our neighborhoods. He kisses the black baby during the politicians' hunt for the White House. You understand? They do all kinds of things. They play the goddamn jazz. You understand? They relate to black folks. They get in the camera. They dance. They do all the new hip moves. They look like they taking on our spirit, man. They look like they damn near black themselves, man. You know what I mean? People that said, you know, these fake Israelites, they be out here and saying, oh man, because such and such can sing and dance, man. That might be Israel. They may be Israel because they think that just because they have changed the spots, that now this is a whole different animal. This is a whole different thing. Ain't nothing changed about this devil, man. Ain't nothing changed, man. Like the scripture says, his wickedness rust as rust that rusted on iron, man. It ain't went nowhere. It runs deep in him. It's deep in him. You understand? Keep reading.
Though he humble himself and go crouching.
Though he humble himself, man, and speak nice, he crouched down, speaking nice, man. Hey, I'm going to take care of everybody. Everybody's going to be all right. We're going to make it through. For all of my poor people, you're going to make it through. You understand? We're going to set up this. We're going to make sure you get $600 in unemployment. We're going to get you $1,200 a one-time payment, man, stimulus plan, man. You understand? And any other problems you got, we're going to take care of that. Keep reading.
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
Yeah, take good heed, man. Listen to the prophets of the Lord, man. Take good heed and be aware of him, man. Because he ain't out to do nothing but grease his own palms, man. All that nonsense he been talking, man, he is out to grease his own palms. Is that it on that? Keep reading.
And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass.
And then you should be unto him as if you wiped a looking glass. A looking glass is like a monocle. You know, you've seen when they take that one glass out of their pocket and they take it out and they look through it. And when you look through it, you can see a lot clearer. You understand? When you look through it, you can see them words a lot clearer than you could at first. You understand? It'd be though as if you look through a looking glass. When you keep your eyes, when you keep your antennas up, you understand? Like old boy said Friday after next was that next Friday. He said, where was your antennas? You know what I'm saying? When they was in there robbing the place. You understand? You keep your antennas up, man. Stay on alert, man. And it'd be though if you as if you looked through and wiped a looking glass, man. You'll be able to see clearly of what's going on. But when you think we Americans too, I'm joining them. They just like us. They struggling and going through life like I am. When you do that, you have covered your eyes to the truth, man. You understand? It's like you put on shades 10 times darker than the ones I'm wearing. And you can't see a damn thing. You understand? Is that all on that? Keep reading.
And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
And you shall know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. As hard as they put that iron to the grind, you will know that he's still wicked, man. As hard as he's tried to change his spots, he's still a leopard. As hard as he's tried to blend in amongst our people, you understand, and take on our spirit,
he still hates you.
That's right.
You understand? And stop thinking that because he threw you $1,200 that he got some type of love for you. I hear black people all on the internet talking about, man, well, I didn't like Trump at first, but now he's starting to sound like he a good president because he gave you 20. You people sell out so quick. The scripture says that a gift destroyed the heart, man.
That's right.
Y'all so ready to sell out over a nickel, man. For the crumbs that fall away from the table, while these businesses got 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. Man, there's a restaurant in Kansas City, man. It's a steakhouse. How in the hell did it qualify for $20 million? $20 million, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? What in the devil, what kind of steak are they, what the hell is going on in the places? I can't even form the words to speak on it, man. $20 million, man, in stimulus, and they wondering why the stimulus is all gone now. Now they wondering why there ain't no more money for small business. Because you know why? All of those people was at the forefront. They couldn't wait. As soon as the bell said bing, they had already had their inside connection. Paperwork was damn near already done. They was just waiting on them to slam the gavel and say, we're gonna put this in law. Because as soon as it happened, their applications was already in there because they had somebody that was in the upper crust that was letting them know when everything was gonna go down. So of course they already had everything going because they knew the inside track. They already knew, they already knew, you know what I'm saying, the guidelines and things that were gonna need to be put in place in order to get these loans. That's why the small guy, these mom and pop stores and restaurants of the blacks and Hispanics that they had, they, unbeknownst to them, they couldn't get the loan. I talked to several black business owners and asked them, did they get the money? What'd they tell me? Man, we weren't able to get it. I'm talking about the money. It was a serious money grab. It was a serious money grab, man. You understand? And black people, what? We on the bottom end of that too.
Right.
You understand? Even with your little businesses. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even a personal thing. It ain't about your household and your family. Well, of course it is on the bottom end of your business. That's the reason why you run a business. But I'm saying, just to keep your business afloat, you didn't get any of that money. Right. You understand? They made sure it went to their big corporations. They made sure it went to the sub corporate or subsidy parent. These were parent companies who had little smaller companies that made sure that they got those little companies taken care of, even though it was not under the parent company's name. They got these smaller companies, and they the ones who grabbed all that money. You understand? Because they had the lawyers and the people in place and who already knew how to fill that paperwork out and get it done and get that money like that. They were giving away $10,000 that you didn't have to pay back just for simply signing and saying, look, I got a business that got X amount of employees in it. They was giving away $10,000. It was on a $100,000 loan that if you wanted the loan, this was the EIDL loan. If you wanted the loan, you could have taken it or you could have just denied it and just took the $10,000 and ran off and been like, well, whatever, I took care of what I need to take care of. But yet, still, they didn't get that. You understand? Our people have no understanding that this here, man, is a wicked man, dog, that's so-called handing out this money. Right. And when we looking hard, too, for that help. We looking hard for this help, but it's one thing we don't know. Read Lamentations 4:17.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Hey, our eyes haven't yet failed for our vain help. We still looking like we ain't known this since we first got out of slavery, that they not trying to help us. Everything they say to help us has been to destroy us, man.
That's right.
They don't got no plans. I don't care how long they sit and deliberate. They have never had plans to help Negroes, Hispanics, nor Native Indians. Ask the Native Indian. If anybody knows, he knows that they not trying to help you at all. They are trying to destroy you. You understand? But yet you still looking for their help in vain and for nothing. You're doing it for nothing, man. Read that part of the scripture again.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Our eyes have yet failed for our vain help, man. So lock it, man. You understand? Keep reading.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Man, and in our watching, we've been watching for this same nation, man. The ones that beat our backs. How can the ones that's been pushing you underwater, trying to drown you, be the same one to save you?
Right.
You understand? That's just
That's what you call insanity. To keep believing the same thing that they changed. They trying to help us now. It's black folks that can't help themselves. It's black people's problems, man. They the ones, man. You understand? They the reason why they destroyed. No, it's not. It's not the that's not the reason why we destroyed. It's because of this has been systematic. This oppression that we face has been a system of oppression, and it's been repetitive, and it's going to continue on until black people learn to do what the Lord said and separate. You understand? And come out of this place. But as long as you love being a whore, as long as you love doing drugs and being able to partake in all types of manner of wickedness, well, guess what? You'll continue to die, and you'll keep looking for help. You'll continue to drown, and you'll keep looking for help. And that same hand that's pushing you underwater, you're going to be looking for that same hand to pull you out. And that's the problem, man. Black people don't look to black people for help. You know what black people look for black people to do? Hate. When they should turn that hatred onto their own enemy. You understand? Unto their own enemy. But you got to first know who your enemy is. And your enemy is this oppressor who's throwing crumbs off of a table to feed the dogs underneath it. And you right now, you the dogs underneath it. You understand? When actually in the Bible, you're supposed to have switched places. The dogs should be these oppressors. They supposed to be the ones eating the crumbs off of the tables, man. You understand? But guess what? Negroes just love it this way. The same way we did in Egypt. When Moses had us out there eating the manna, we cried to go back under the oppressor. Because guess what? There, we got to eat good. And that's the same way we think today. We think that we're being treated so well because we ain't never had nothing. We ain't never had a crumb of anything. So when a crumb fall off the table, it's like, oh, look, we got something, y'all. Everybody's happy about it, man. Go into that other article for me. Pull that other article. I want you to understand something that a lot of people already know. That the government itself knows. They know what they're doing. You understand? But it's black people who don't get it. It's Hispanic people who don't understand. It's Native Indian people who don't consider, man. We have to now start to really look and analyze the situation. Stop taking and giving what little bit of curiosity you have over to conspiracy. Use that curiosity and then look into the situation of black people. Use that thing that got you wanting to be a detective about what's going on, and don't turn it to 5G towers. Go and look at the history of your being in America. After slavery, before slavery. Go get great books like the image of blacks in the minds of whites. Go get these types of things so that you could understand what it is that's going on, man. You have no clue of what's going on because you don't take the time to consider. You're too high.
Right.
The easy route is to blame it on the conspiracy. You understand? Because if you take the hard route, your eyes going to be open. And once your eyes get open, you can't close them. You understand? You can't go back to sleep once you woke. Once you awake and you see what's going on, you ain't going back to sleep. It's going to press you. It's going to tear at you. It's going to make you angry like these men in here, man. To be angry is a condition that black men should be in right now. The scripture says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. To be angry is a great condition for black men to be in because guess what? When you're angry, black men, we become thinkers. You understand? We become problem solvers. You understand? They just showed you a way to get your stress off by going out there and banging that hammer. You understand? Going out there and beating up on your brothers, shooting up on your people. When in actuality, you got another spirit in you, man. You understand? Read that article. Give me the title. I mean, give me the title for me, please.
Khan.
Bakusha.
Experts say racism and misinformation fuel North Carolina's high coronavirus rate among blacks and Hispanics.
Wait. Start back at the top and emphasize that first word.
Khan. Experts say racism and misinformation fuel North Carolina's high coronavirus rate.
They said the experts. These is people who do this. You understand? They say that it's racism. They say, listen, the experts is right here in the UPK, man.
That's right.
You understand? We've been saying this. We've been saying that racism is a condition that causes us ailments. It causes us to die and perish. It causes us not to be able to rise above the level of poverty that we're on.
You understand? It causes us to stay stagnant, man, in our generations, man. Oppression. And they know this. The experts are even saying that this is the reason why we die from coronavirus. The same thing these brothers been telling you. The reason why we're dying from coronavirus is because of our oppression. You understand? And the oppression is a result of the sins that we committed against the Most High God. He's the one that allowed a nation of people to come upon us and overtake us, man. You understand? Go ahead, read that out.
Colonel Khan. In North Carolina and around the country, African Americans are getting COVID-19 and dying from the disease much more than white people.
Keep reading.
While health experts talk about a variety of reasons, Dr. Mandy Cohen, the state secretary of Health and Human Services, can explain it in 2 words: structural racism.
Wait a minute. What did he just say? Read that sentence again.
While health experts talk about a variety of reasons, Dr. Mandy Cohen, the state secretary of Health and Human Services, can explain it in 2 words.
He can explain it in 2 words. What's them 2 words,
Structural racism.
Structural racism. Systematic oppression, man. Structural racism, man. This means that this is a foundation that's been put together and made into a system, man. This is a structure, man, that they have made in order to keep a certain demographic of people at one level, to keep them at bay, so that they couldn't get healthy, so that they couldn't get rich, so that they couldn't increase in wealth. You understand? And have things to pass along to the generations that come after them. This is a what? Say that word again. 2 words again.
Structural racism.
Structural racism. Keep reading.
While health disparities in our country are historic and persistent, and we have a crisis like this, I think it shines a light on health disparities that, frankly, I've been working on for 3.5 years.
Now, she said we're suffering from health disparities. Why are we suffering from these health disparities? Why? Why do we suffer from hypertension? Why do we suffer from cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma? Why do we suffer from these things? We suffer from these things because they are all derived from our enslavement here in America, man. They all come from there, man. Because guess what? When I say that, I know that's like a blanket statement, a cover statement, and everybody's like, well, how does that got to do with that? Well, let me explain something to you. The things you eat today, the things grandmama cooked today, Big Mama cooked, because you know Big Mama is the name of the grandmama that always cook all the good stuff. Everybody want to come over on Sundays. They used to. You understand? Like just like the movie Soul Food. I don't know if any of y'all too young. Y'all might be too young to remember that movie, but us older cats, we remember Soul Food, man. And that was Big Mama's house. Big Mama had all the food. She made all the greens, the cornbread, the yams. You understand? Guess what else she had in that pot? That pork, that pig. You understand? Yo, so these are the reasons why we have these certain ailments, because of the abominable things that we ate. The things that the Lord told us that we could not have in Scripture. Through enslavement, our slave masters fed these things to us, man, and made it a custom for us, because he would give us the parts of animals he did not want. You understand? Like the feet. You understand? The tongue, the necks. You know what I'm saying? The tail. We always ate something that they did not eat. You understand? They would take the best part of the beef, or the best part of the, well, ain't no best part of the pig. All of it's bad. But this is how we ended up eating stuff like pig feet. You understand? This is how we end up eating stuff like oxtails and turkey necks, because the master would take the best part of the animal and eat for himself. You understand? Only if you was a house Negro, you may have gotten a taste of that. But even then, it might have been like a blessing. You understand? To get that. You understand? Because those that were out in the field, they would take what little they had, man. You understand? We was just watching a documentary on the way up here about slavery in Mississippi, and one of the slaves, they had recorded the voices of them back in the early 1940s. they had was like born in 1849 and stuff like that. So these slaves was like 100 years old, man. And they was talking about, one of the slaves was talking about how they would sit up and eat mushroom soup. You know what I'm saying? Like, good night. Like, I don't even like mushrooms, but I can't imagine eating mushroom soup. You understand? That's like, what did you do? Flavor the water and then just let the mushrooms boil. You got a mushroom broth that you let come off of there. So now you eat mushroom soup. You understand? But this is just a goal to show you how we got into some of these medical conditions that we're in. Also, I keep bringing this out after it was brought out to me that asthma is caused by roaches, man. You know what I'm saying? Living in these projects and these impoverished places, man, where pestilence and pests are allowed to run rampant, dog, causes us to have these ailments, man. Hypertension, man. When you stressed out all the damn time, when you trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, to get bills paid because they talking about cutting it off today. They talking about putting you out this month. You're always on the edge. You can never come home and relax. You can't come home from the job that you just worked 12 hours for, then come home and relax because you're on edge, because this bill that normally comes in a white envelope is now in a red or a yellow envelope. So now everything you look at is emergency. It's emergency, emergency, emergency. The child is always in emergency. He whining and crying. He got to put some food in his mouth. And your wife, she may be in emergency too. She needs this, she needs that. Then she go and hand you the mail. And when she hands you the mail, all these bills say urgent, urgent. You open it up. You owe such and such. You owe this person. Then you open this letter. It say we cutting it off today. Or we cutting it off in 2 weeks. You understand? Now you trying to come up with this money. And I also got to pay the rent next week. So it's always you're in constant shock and in constant stress. So of course, hypertension, man, takes us out. Heart disease, man, that affects the heart, whether people know that or not. To be under constant stress like that also affects the heart.
That's right.
High blood pressure, that's one of the biggest things that's taking people out with this COVID-19. Lung cancer, that's another thing that our people deal with because we love to smoke. We do not want to stop smoking. We rather die than give up the blunt. We rather die than give up that nicotine fix. I can't believe that people are actually scared of COVID-19 that's only killed 100,000, but cigarettes done kill millions. You got
Right.
your mask on, but then you'll drop the mask to smoke a cigarette, to smoke a blunt. You dropping them, and then you sharing your blunt with everybody. So how are you quarantining? I don't even get it. You're delusional, man. You understand? And oppression has done that to you too, where you don't think clear. You don't think clear at all. You understand? Keep reading that out.
What kind? These disparities have been perpetuated by unfortunate decisions about policies like failing to expand Medicaid in the state.
Did you read that part again?
Those disparities have been perpetuated.
Perpetuated. They have been perpetuated. They are continuing these things on generation after generation. Y'all kill me talking about vote. Vote for who? The next devil to put a stake in your back? Vote for who? Your next slave master who is going to whip you with a different type. He ain't going to use leather. He going to use patent leather.
Right.
He ain't going to whip me. He ain't going to whip me with one that has metal shavings on the end. He going to put nails in it. What are you looking for when you vote? The Lord says you should not vote to put a king over you, except he be one of your brothers, man. And our king has already been elected. Our king is Yahweh Shah, man, Mashiach. You understand, in the Hebrew, who you call Christ today.
That's right.
That's our king, man. We don't need none of these so-called leaders, man. You understand? And our leader right now is at the helm, man. Commander General Yohana is holding it down until the Lord returns, man. You understand? He is the gatekeeper, man. He's the one that is the shepherd for these sheep, man, until the Lord returns, man. We don't need nobody else, because ain't nobody else going to stand up and stand on what they said, man. Everybody else can be bought off, man. You understand? Keep reading.
What kind? Like many other states that are reporting the racial demographics of confirmed COVID-19 cases and deaths, North Carolina is seeing a disparately high impact on the state's black residents.
They seeing a disparately high impact on the black residents. Keep reading.
As of Friday afternoon, 10,086 black people had tested positive for COVID-19. That's 39% of the 2,781 cases,
Good night.
where the race of the patient was known.
That's damn near half. That's damn near half of them. 39%? That's damn near half. Keep reading.
North Carolina's population is 22% black. That gap is wide enough that in the unlikely event that every single one of the 1,087 patients whose race was not recorded were white, black patients would still make up a disparately high portion of the state's cases. The same pattern extended to deaths, with black people accounting for 27 of the state's 69 COVID-19 deaths.
Good night, bruh. That's more than a third. That's more than a third. 39% for 39%. 39% of the infections and 39% of the deaths. That's the same thing. Ooh, excuse me. But this doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't it make any sense? Why can't nobody understand why this is going on? Because you don't consider how they have treated you in America. You don't consider that you've not been able to, your jobs that you have to keep don't allow you to afford health insurance. You don't consider that. You don't consider that a woman working at McDonald's that got to beg to raise the damn cost of wages to $15 an hour. You understand? She gotta fight for minimum wage to go up. She ain't even fighting for health insurance. She just fighting for her wages to go up. And guess what's gonna happen when she gets them wages? That's gonna go into the house. Don't let her have an addiction. Don't let him have an addiction. What's gonna happen? It's gonna go on that bag. It's gonna go on whatever ailment that they you know what I'm saying, catch themselves up in. You know what I'm saying? Smoking dope. You know what I'm saying? Because I know plenty of crackheads that work for McDonald's. You understand? I know plenty of weed heads that work at these low-level jobs, man. So of course they don't even have insurance. You understand? Guess what they gonna do? They gonna go and hit that blunt. They feel bad, let's hit this blunt. You're aching, let's hit the blunt. I'm sick, hit the blunt. You understand? This is how they're medicating themselves. You understand? By getting high off of drugs that the so-called white man is the one who's flooding your communities with it.
That's right.
You understand? So he knows that you don't have any health insurance. And he knows that you're going to self-medicate. That's why now he said, well, you know what? We'll corner the markets on both ends of the medicine. We'll give them this so-called medical marijuana. Now that they can all go and buy it from the stores, out the vending machines, on the corner shop. They can go buy it any damn where. And don't have to worry about being arrested or anything. We can keep them inebriated. Keep them high and not thinking. Because surely none of us are considering any of these issues to be the reason why that we are dying disproportionately than everybody else. Nobody understands that we're the one with all these diseases. We're number one in them. Why are we number one in them? Why are we number one in them? You understand? Because we got to be slaves underneath a slave master who does not care to make sure that we're healthy. You know what he cares about? Did that shipment get out? Did those boxes get stocked? Did that money get made? That's what he's worried about. And if you drop dead, guess what? He'll go get another. You understand? But what little bit of bread he gives you, man, you're going to go and try to say, oh, let me go get some health insurance. Well, you just insured yourself. Well, what about your children? That's going to cost a lot more. They make it so hard when other countries are giving free health care.
Right.
I ain't talking about just free COVID-19 care. I know that's a lot. That's been in the headlines. I'm talking about overall free health care for their whole entire nation of citizens. You understand? Or a country of citizens, man. And yet we here, the richest country in the world, taxing people. You understand? And trying to make any goddamn dollar you can. If a person is sick, they got to go to work just to pay for health care. You understand? That doesn't even make sense. How can you still be working if you're sick?
Right.
You understand? That does not make any sense at all. Read that scripture I got, brother.
Okay. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent them against you?
The Lord.
Who?
The Lord.
The Lord sent these enemies against you. Keep reading.
In hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
And in thirst.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. This is what's gonna happen to us, man. This is what is happening to us. Not gonna happen, what has happened to us. We have to serve our enemies and want of all things, man. We want to be at home in the safety of our homes during the coronavirus. But guess what? You got to serve your enemy.
Right.
You don't got time to be sick. You don't have time to lay back and try to fix yourselves and get yourselves together. Nurse this cold or nurse this flu. You don't have time for none of that. Don't let you be new on the job. You can't even miss a day or they're going to fire you.
That's right.
You better not say you sick. You better come on up in here sick and work and spread that sick around to everybody else, because that's exactly what you're going to do. You come in there with some kind of ailment, you're going to get everybody else sick because you can't afford to miss a day because you're new to the job. And if you miss one day, call in sick, guess what? We don't need you. You can't even make it past the first 90 days without missing a day. You mean to tell me I got to go 3 months without anything happening? Meaning I can't get sick, my car can't break down, my wife can't go into labor, my child can't get sick, they school can't be shut down. All these types of things. The Lord said you are going to serve your masters, your enemies, for one of all things, man, including health care. Including health care. Even when you can't even see yourself getting it. Because I know there's a sister that was on this article. Is there a video at the top of that article?
Kind of certain.
Go back up to the top of that article, and I want you to let that article play. And it should be a black sister wearing a McDonald's hat. Is that her?
Kind of certain.
Let that play and try to turn it up as loud as you can. Kind of face your mic towards to see if they can hear it. Make sure they can hear it. I want y'all to hear what this sister is saying. And you can tell she's not very educated at all. But this is the condition of our people. We're not very educated. You know what I'm saying? We probably didn't finish school, but we got these mediocre jobs, these little jobs that just are there just to keep us barely afloat. You understand? And when it really doesn't keep us afloat, we still, like I said, robbing Peter to pay Paul. But listen to this sister, man. You can tell she has no clue where her next dollar's coming from. This is all with the so-called help from the coronavirus packages, stimulus packages. This sister is still about to be struggling. Go ahead, Al.
At first, the coronavirus started. I was basically coming to work at my regular hours. I was off Thursdays and Sundays. Now that's totally changed to being off practically all week. Right now, I have to apply for assistance. That's something that I really didn't want to do, but at this moment I have no choice. As this point, I look like I'm going to have to apply for unemployment, food stamps, whatever I can get to help me survive right now, because I don't know where my next meal might come from or anything at this moment. We just have gloves at McDonald's. We don't wear face masks. At first, we didn't have nothing to shield the employers from in front of the counter, but all of a sudden they come up with this one shield in front of one cashier. Kind of ridiculous, because it should have been all across, besides just on one, because you have more than just one cashier.
Pause that. Good night. Hold on. When I tell you these people, they don't give a damn about us, man.
Right.
This sister said there's several cashier spots at the front thing at McDonald's, and they only put a shield. These people, they got on the damn sign, millions of hamburgers sold. Now these hamburgers ain't cheap. Even the goddamn cheeseburger hamburger is at least $1.50. You got millions of hamburgers sold. Each of these franchises that open up, they do the numbers too. They sell millions of hamburgers. You mean to tell me you could only put one shield up
What little bit of protection you give them, they don't do nothing but wear gloves. They don't got face masks. The only thing she got was a shield. And she probably don't even work at that register. You understand? There's 4 or 5 registers on the front line, but yet they only put a shield on one. Now, what was that for? What are you trying to do? What is you protecting with that? You understand? They don't give a damn. All they care about is their bottom line. What does that profit margin look like? They could care less about trying to help you survive COVID-19. So could your so-called president. He don't give a damn about you making it through COVID-19. You know what he care about? His constituents' bottom lines. His friends' bottom lines. You understand? His big tycoon buddies' bottom lines. He don't give a damn about your condition, man. You understand? These other nations, they paying 80% of the so-called employees' wages. Paying 80%. Yet, guess what? They telling the people, don't fire them. Just let them stay home. We'll pay 80%. The government is paying 80%, and then the job pays the other 20. You understand? And just don't fire them because they don't want their people unemployed. Guess what? America didn't think like that. So they got 17 million people unemployed in 3 weeks. And you think America get ready to change because you could go back outside. Are you crazy? Are you mad, man? Do you not understand that the Lord sent this on us? The Lord sent this on our oppressor, but he also gave a dose to our people who don't want to obey the Lord.
That's
you understand? Right. He also gave a dose to us that don't want to fear, man. Give me Deuteronomy 6 and 24. All right? You give me Deuteronomy, Salakia. Aban, you give me Isaiah 65. Give me Isaiah 65. We're going to start at verse 9 right there. But I want that Deuteronomy 6 and 24 first, man.
God.
Our people you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it, man. The Lord sent this plague, man. Ain't no tower did this. Ain't no white man this powerful to shut down all the whole world, man. Ain't no one character did this except the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And when you learn to fear this man, you might just understand where we coming from. You might gain some wisdom, man. You might understand how we got here as a people. You understand? You got it? Read that out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 24. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes and to fear the Lord our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive.
This is why the Lord gave us statutes, laws, and commandments. Read it again from the top.
And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes.
All of them.
To fear the Lord our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day.
As it is at this day. Keeping the statutes, laws, and commandments is going to preserve you, man. We trust in what the Lord said here in the UPK. That's why we don't make excuses about, we can't do it. We can't keep the Passover because we ain't in our land. We can't do this. We can't. Even if we can't, we're going to try. Right. You understand? Where is the effort? No, nobody wants to hear like Jeremiah said. We don't want to hear your Salakias. That's the last thing he want to hear. I'm telling you, he don't want to hear no Salakia. Don't you tell Jeremiah. Don't you tell him no Salakia. I'm telling you. I've been on the phone with the brother. You do not want to hear that coming from the general, man. He don't want to have to hear that coming from you, man. And no man in this camp wants to hear a Salakia. You understand? No man that is over the next. When an order is given, we don't want to hear it. So guess what? We after the spirit of the Lord. The Lord definitely don't want to hear your Salakias.
Right.
He definitely don't want to hear it, man. When he told us to keep these statutes, laws, and commandments, that's what it was, or die. That's why he said these laws will preserve you alive. Tell it is like it is this day, man.
That's right.
You understand? Our people just don't get it. They still thinking that, it's not like that. Christianity has destroyed our people and it has caused them to die. And they're going to continue to die as long as they want to believe in their pork chop pastor pimps. You understand? But I don't see how you're still doing that when they didn't even come out when COVID-19 hit. They sending you cash apps. You understand? And sending your tithe. He wants your money, but he ain't going to come out and hit you with the code of blessing, the one that knocks out all the arthritis and takes away the cancer, and the one that makes you walk again. They ain't come out and lay hands on you COVID-19 patients. You mean to tell me the church was closed? Well, guess what? The ISUPK is open. Why? Because we keep the statutes, laws, and commandments that they might preserve us alive. You understand? And we're trying to teach blacks, Hispanics, and natives to do the same, man. But they are hard. They are a hard-headed and stiff-necked people, man. But yet, we won't close the doors. We'll continue on with this fight, man. We'll continue on with this fight. Give me that Isaiah 65 and 9.
Kind, sir. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 9.
Go ahead.
And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains.
The Lord said he gonna bring a seed out of Jacob. You understand? That seed is Christ, man. You understand? And out of Judah, man, to inherit these mountains, man. That's us as a people under Christ, man. Keep reading.
And mine elect shall inherit it.
And mine elect shall inherit it. Keep reading.
And my servants shall dwell there.
And his servants shall dwell there. The Lord is talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. You understand? Keep reading.
And Sharon shall be a fold of flocks. In the valley of Achor, a place for the herds to lie down in.
Those herds are us. Those flocks are us. This is his people, man. Keep reading.
For my people that have sought me.
The ones that did what?
Sought me.
The ones that came looking for the Lord. You know how you look for the Lord? You get in the UPK, man.
That's right.
That's how you come and find and seek out the Lord. To sought him means to seek him out, man. To look for him, man. Why is it that you Negroes see death coming and you don't look for the Lord? I'm looking for the Lord when I see death coming. I'm not looking to no devil. I don't fear these devils, man. In here in the UPK, the Father we fear. So when death comes, I'm going to look for the Lord. You understand? When I feel it's at the end, guess who I'm looking for? The Lord. When I feel my time is coming up, guess who I'm looking for? The Lord. I ain't about to, the white man did this to me. It's his medicine. It's what he gave me. It's what he fed me. You know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go look and see what the Lord said. Because I know the Lord said he's the one that brings the evil in the city, man. You understand? I know that he's the one that does all of these things, man. You understand? So therefore, I'm going to seek him. Keep reading.
But ye are they that forsake the Lord.
But wait a minute. The ones that's dying right now, the ones that's in fear right now, they are the ones that what?
Forsake the Lord.
They forsake the Lord, man. Keep reading.
That forget my holy mountain. That prepare a table for that troop.
You understand that troop? That's these other nations that come against us, man. They prepare a holy mountain for them. You know what? You know who's doing that? Them Christians. Because the Christians want to be married and want to coexist with every damn body. They want to be a part of every damn nation. You understand? Everybody can be a Christian, man. Keep reading.
And that furnish the drink offering unto that number.
Oh, yeah. They furnish the drink offering. Come and hang. Come be with us. You understand? Come take communion with us. Come get into church with us. You understand? Christianity, that's the best place to be. All of these so-called religions ain't nothing but a spinoff of Christianity, man. That's all they are. And all of our people love to run in there because they get to hear a good, feel-good message and they get to go back and be a whore. You get to go back and be high. You get to go have sex with your brother's wife. So they all come together, man. They all love this little thing called Christianity. Keep reading.
Kanawakan. Therefore will I number you to the sword.
Therefore the Lord said he gonna number you to the sword. Keep reading.
And ye shall all bow down to the slaughter.
What's happening right now? Black people are being slaughtered. At first it was a whole nother nation, man. It was the so-called Chinese. Then it was hitting these devils bad. Now look. Read that last part of that line.
Kanawakan. And ye shall all bow down to the slaughter.
Now you shall all bow down to the slaughter. What verse is that?
Verse 12.
Keep going.
Because when I called, ye did not answer.
Because when he called, you didn't answer. When the so-called, when the prophets hit the street, the UPK, you understand? You brothers didn't hear the call of the Lord. You sisters didn't hear the call of the Lord. Y'all walked past us and kept shopping. You know what I'm saying? And look back at us. Who they think they are? I don't know why they come out here yelling. Y'all didn't hear the call of the Lord. Keep reading.
When I spake, ye did not hear.
Y'all didn't hear the speakings. Y'all didn't hear when the Lord gave us what to say when we were standing out on them podiums, man, and trying to teach you the statutes, laws, and commandments, trying to teach you who you was as a nation, and trying to bring you back into the fold, man, trying to bring you back to the Most High in Christ, man. Y'all didn't hear none of them speakings, man. Keep reading.
But did evil before mine eyes.
But you turned around and did evil before the Lord's eyes. You understand? You sparked your blunts up anyway. After we just told you the Lord gonna put you to death. You understand? For smoking marijuana. After we just told you that the Lord said that the dope man is a witch that should be put to death, man. You understand? And you went and sold the dope any damn way, man. You understand? Keep reading.
And did choose that wherein I delighted not.
And you choose to do the things where the Lord had no delight in. You choose to celebrate these holidays. You choose to be a part of the Christian church. You choose to go and steal another man's wife and sleep with her. You choose to be whores, pimps, and prostitutes, man. You choose to be like all these other nations. That's why the Lord said he was going to lead you up to the slaughter. You're going to all fall to the slaughter, man. Keep reading.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
Let me tell you something. In the UPK, these brothers and sisters ain't starving. You know what I'm saying? We got brothers and sisters who put together some cold food programs to serve and take care of the Lord's people in their dire situation. You think we ain't eating? You think these brothers and sisters in here ain't eating? You think that there's going to be a household under Commander General Yohana that's going to starve? You don't know what brotherhood is. You don't know what sisterhood is if that's what you thought. Keep reading, now.
Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty.
Man, we drinking big. You hear me? While they thirsting. Keep reading.
Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
You gonna be ashamed. In these days when you look up and you see that what we said is really coming to pass. I put a post up about these fake Hebrew Israelite so-called prophets, man. They out here, oh man, COVID-19, bro. This is the beginning, bro. They about to shut it down. It's about to be martial law. Oh man, it's about to go down, man. They about to start forcing vaccines. You're gonna get the mark of the beast. I'm telling you, don't take it. ISBK telling people to take the mark of the beast, huh? They out here telling people to get vaccinated, man. Stay away from them. They the wicked. They the 2/3. Oh man. Now I look up and I see that they finna reopen whole cities. Wait a minute. Y'all skipped something. Now, according to these prophets over here, they said it was getting ready to be some forced vaccines and the mark of the beast was gonna be in it. What happened to that? I ain't got my mark of the beast yet. Wait a minute, I want my mark of the beast. Somebody tell me something. These fake Israelites need to get themselves in order and get in class, man.
That's right.
Stop trying to jump over order, man. There's a clear order on how to become a priest and a prophet. And the first thing you must do is sit your tail in class. Do Khan Adawan Khan until you have been given the order to step up and take your test, man. Other than that, shut your mouth and get in class and learn these scriptures, man. Because you're all out of order. Because you got a mouth that can speak and fingers to type don't mean you should. Everything that can be done ain't to be done. You brothers need to shut your mouths, man, and stop spreading fear amongst our people, man. Because you got them running all over the damn place. You understand? And these brothers still trying. After I put that up there, here come this cat, Judah, whatever the hell his name is. The dude, he left the school. Was in the school, left the truth. Now he is the biggest conspiracy. This nigga's a conspiracy theorist like Alex Jones. I'm talking about he worst. He ought to just go ahead and join GMS. That's what he ought to do, because that's what all the conspiracy theorists are. They was raised by Alex Jones. That's why they all believe in that damn mark of the beast is a chip. Like, are you serious? Who gonna give the people that's in the wilderness and the Amazon, who gonna get him the chip? How they gonna get the chip way out there? And then the mark of the beast goes in the forehead or in the right hand. So they gonna be injecting you with the vaccine in your forehead? Somebody make it make sense. Help, I'm trying to understand. Can somebody help me Yeah, it's hard to understand these idiots. I don't think nobody is gonna be able to understand. You ought to see the faces in this classroom right now. Everybody like, we don't have a clue what y'all talking about. Y'all are lost, man.
You understand? And this is why the only truth resides in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, man. Because these brothers did everything that they were supposed to do in order, man. You understand? Like the Lord prescribed it, man. We follow this book to the T. You understand? And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the class right there. You understand? I guess we don't do the, we got the, I guess not. We'll do it another time. All right, with that being said, Shalom, Israel.